Evaluating investment center performance. We've looked at ROI, which gives you a percentage return. Now, there are some flaws with ROI in that it gives you a percentage, which you don't really know if you're comparing a large investment center with a small investment center, because all you're seeing is this percentage return. So usually, in addition to return on investment, you'll use some other performance measurements as well. One of them is residual income. The beauty of residual income is it's going to give you a dollar amount, because it compares what was the actual operating income achieved by this manager and comparing it with a target. In other words, at the beginning of the year you said, "Manager, I want a desired ROI, or return on my investment, of a certain percentage, and I'm going to multiply that by the assets invested." And you'll remember that's beginning of the year assets plus end of the year assets divided by 2. So here's the target, here's what they actually achieved, and you'll get a dollar amount which says, did they exceed expectation, and by how much? Now, the dollar amount makes it very easy then to link personal incentives to that. In other words, the bonus. So you could give that manager a percentage of the RI as their bonus for exceeding expectations, couldn't we? So again, are we looking for getting synergy between the goals of the individual and the organization? So residual income helps us achieve that. So let's take a look again at problem 4 and the data that's there, and let's compute RI, residual income, for 2007 and 2008. In 2007, our operating income is $43,500. It also tells me in requirement 2 that the desired ROI for this investment center manager, could we have a different ROI for each manager? Sure can. So for this particular manager, we're expecting them to give us a 12% return on the resources, the assets that we're entrusting them with to make a difference. And those assets at the end of the year were $163,900. The assets at the beginning of the year were $157,900. Divide by 2. So, computing the numbers, we find that this manager exceeded our expectations, this target, by $24,192. So did they put more into the corporate success pot than was expected? Yes. And they did a pretty good job, didn't they? So we should give them a bonus. In 2008, let's take a look. Operating income in 2008 was $52,500. Again, we set a targeted goal of a 12% desired return on investment, and my assets were $173,900 at the end of the year, plus $163,900 at the beginning of the year, divide by 2. And so in 2008, that manager again exceeded our expectations by giving us a residual income of $32,232. So, hey, pretty good manager.